Hello there. Tonight let me be here with you for a while. First find yourself the most comfortable position, maybe lying on your back in bed or lying on whichever side you prefer. Let your shoulders drop down, release your hands, and just breathe. Breathe very gently. Tonight we're going on a journey together, not by spaceship or any vessel at all, but simply by letting your mind be free for a moment, to wander, to drift far away. We'll explore a question that for a very long time humans have asked themselves whenever they look up at the night sky. The question is this: can this universe of ours be infinite? And if it is infinite, how can it still exist like this? You don't need to find the answer right away. In fact, perhaps no one has the exact answer, and that's perfectly fine. Tonight, we just need to let thoughts drift away gently, like white clouds floating in the sky, like a soft breeze passing through your hair. Just imagine now, you're lying on a very soft patch of grass, a warm summer night, no city noise, no bright lights, only the vast night sky above your head, full of twinkling stars. You feel small, but you also feel safe, because this vast universe is also your home. So then let's begin our journey. Slowly now. We have the whole long night ahead. When you were small, the world ended at the fence in your backyard. Beyond that fence was mystery. Beyond that was everything else. But your world, your real world, was right there. The grass under your feet, the tree you climbed, the corner where you hid. That was the universe. And it felt enormous then. It felt like it contained everything. Every adventure, every secret, every wonder you'd ever need. Then one summer, maybe you took a drive, out of your neighborhood, through streets you'd never seen, past houses where other children played in other yards, and you realized slowly, quietly, that your fence wasn't the end of anything. It was just one fence among thousands. Your yard was just one small patch of grass in a city full of grass and trees and homes. The world grew that day, not all at once, but gently, like waking up from a dream and finding the room is larger than you remembered. Years passed. You learned about other cities, other countries, places with names you couldn't quite pronounce. You saw them on maps, blue and green and brown. You heard stories about mountains you'd never climb and oceans you'd never cross. And each time, your sense of the world expanded, quiet as a breath, natural as growing taller. Then one day, you saw a photograph. Maybe you were in school. Maybe you were alone in your room late at night. It was a picture of Earth from far away, from space, a small sphere, blue and white, hanging in darkness. So much darkness around it. And you stared at that image. You couldn't look away, because somewhere on that tiny blue dot was your house, your street, your fence. Everything you'd ever known was right there, impossibly small. A speck of dust in an ocean of night. It took your breath away, not in a frightening way, but in a way that made you feel something you'd never felt before. You were small, smaller than you ever imagined. Every person you'd ever met, every place you'd ever been, every moment you'd ever lived, all of it existed on that fragile little sphere, floating, alone, silent in the void. But here's what happened next. Instead of feeling afraid, you felt peaceful. Deeply, strangely peaceful. Because if everything is that small, then maybe nothing is as heavy as it seems. Maybe your mistakes aren't so big after all. Maybe your fears are just tiny whispers on a tiny planet. Maybe it's okay to be small. And there was something else too. Something beautiful. You were part of this. Part of that blue dot. Part of this cosmic dance. You belonged to something so much larger than yourself. Something ancient, something that had been here long before you and would be here long after. That thought didn't make you feel insignificant. It made you feel held. You began to wonder then, if Earth is just one planet among many, if our sun is just one star in a sky full of stars, then how big is all of this universe, this vast dark ocean we're floating in? Does it end somewhere? Is there a place where space just stops, a wall, an edge? Or does it simply continue forever? The question floated in your mind like a leaf on water. You didn't need to answer it. You just let it drift there. Because some questions are more beautiful than their answers. Some mysteries are meant to be felt, not solved. Tonight, lying here, you can feel that smallness again. Your body is small on this bed. Your bed is small in this room. Your room is small in this building. And your building is small on this planet. And your planet is small in this galaxy. And even your galaxy is small in the universe. Layer after layer of smallness, like nesting dolls made of starlight. But that smallness doesn't diminish you. It frees you. Because you don't have to carry the weight of everything anymore. You're just one breath in an infinite breathing. One heartbeat in an eternal rhythm. You can rest now. You can let go. The universe is so vast that it has room for all your worries, all your thoughts, all your dreams. And it holds them gently, the way the night holds the stars. So breathe, slowly. Feel yourself settling, sinking softly. You are small and safe, small and held. The same darkness that cradles the planets cradles you now. And in that darkness, you can finally rest. So here we are with this question, this one simple question that people have been asking for thousands of years. Is the universe infinite? Just 4 words. Such a simple arrangement of sounds. But when you really sit with it, when you let it settle into your mind, it becomes something else entirely. Something vast, something that makes you feel like you're standing at the edge of something you can't quite see. Infinite. What does that word even mean? We use it casually sometimes. We say things like infinite possibilities or infinite love. But do we really mean infinite? Or do we just mean very, very much? More than we can count, more than we can imagine, but still, somewhere, somehow, an amount that could theoretically end. Because there's a difference, you see, a difference between very large and truly infinite. A difference that's easy to miss, but impossible to ignore once you notice it. Imagine you're walking down a road, a long straight road. It stretches ahead of you, far into the distance, until it disappears into the horizon. You walk and walk. Hours pass, days pass. The road continues. You never seem to get any closer to the end. It feels infinite. It feels like you could walk forever. But then, after enough time, you reach a sign. A weathered wooden sign that says, "End of road." And beyond it, the pavement stops. There's grass. There's forest. The road had an end all along. It was just very, very long. Long enough to feel infinite, but not actually infinite. Now imagine a different road. This road also stretches ahead of you. You start walking. Hours pass. Days pass. Years pass. Lifetimes pass. And the road never ends. Not because you haven't walked far enough, but because there is no end. There is no sign waiting for you. No place where the pavement stops. No matter how long you walk, no matter how far you go, there will always be more road ahead. Forever. Truly forever. That's the difference between very large and infinite. One has an end you haven't reached yet. The other has no end at all. Not somewhere far away. Not hiding beyond the horizon. Simply no end. Period. And that's what we're asking about the universe. Is it the first kind of large or the second kind? Is it a road with an end we haven't found yet? Or is it a road that continues forever, without pause, without boundary, without any concept of the last star or the final galaxy or the edge of everything? Your mind might feel a little dizzy thinking about it. That's okay. That's normal. Because infinity isn't something we're built to understand. We live in a world of edges, beginnings and endings, birth and death, morning and night. Even the longest things we know eventually stop. The oldest mountains will erode. The deepest oceans have flaws. The longest lives eventually end. But infinity doesn't follow those rules. Infinity is beyond rules. It's not a very big number. It's not a number at all, really. It's more like a direction. A direction that never curves back, never circles around, never stops or hesitates, or arrives anywhere. When you were a child, maybe you played a game. What's the biggest number? One friend would ask. 1,000,000, another would say. No, 1,000,000,000. No, 1,000,000,000,000. Back and forth, each number bigger than the last. Until finally, someone would say infinity, thinking they'd won. But infinity isn't a number you can reach by counting. It's what's left over after all the counting is done. It's the space beyond space. So when we ask if the universe is infinite, we're not asking if it's big. We know it's big, unimaginably big. We're asking something stranger. We're asking if there's a place where space itself stops existing. A place where you could say, beyond this point, there is no beyond. Can you even imagine such a place? What would it look like? What would be on the other side of the edge? Nothing. But what is nothing is nothing. A place. Can nothing exist? These questions don't have easy answers. Maybe they don't have answers at all. And that's okay. You don't need to solve them tonight. You don't need to solve them ever. Some questions are meant to be lived with, not answered. Meant to be felt, not figured out. Let the question float there in your mind, gentle as a boat on still water. Is the universe infinite? Let it drift. Let it rock slowly back and forth, like a lullaby without words, like the sound of waves on a distant shore. Each wave the same, each wave different, coming and going, arriving and leaving, forever, or just for a very long time. Does it matter which? Maybe, maybe not. For now, just breathe. Let your body sink a little deeper. Let your thoughts slow down. The universe is either infinite or it isn't. Either way, you're safe here. Either way, the stars are still shining. Either way, morning will come. And for now, that's enough. More than enough. Let yourself rest in that not knowing. Let it hold you like water holds a floating leaf. Imagine a warm evening thousands of years ago. The sun has just set over the Aegean Sea. The air is still and gentle. And on a hillside somewhere in ancient Greece, a man sits alone looking up at the sky. He has no telescope, no computer, no photographs from space. Just his eyes and the darkness and the stars beginning to appear one by one like flowers opening in the night. His name is Anaximander, and he's thinking about something that keeps him awake at night, something that troubles him in the most beautiful way. He's wondering if the universe has an edge, if there's a place where everything stops, or if it simply goes on and on forever, without boundary, without end. He watches the stars emerge, each one a point of light in the growing darkness. And he thinks, if I could travel up there, past the moon, past the stars themselves, would I eventually reach a wall, a barrier, the end of all things? Or would there always be more space ahead of me? More darkness, more room, always more. Anaximander decides, sitting there under that ancient sky, that the universe must be infinite. It must be boundless. Because how could there be an edge? What would the edge be made of? And what would be beyond the edge? The questions don't make sense to him. So he concludes, there is no edge, no boundary. The universe simply is everywhere, always without limit. He doesn't write this in a textbook. He doesn't prove it with equations. He simply knows it the way you know the warmth of sun on your skin. He feels it, and that feeling is enough. But not everyone agrees with him. A few hundred years later, another man sits under the same sky. Different stars maybe, different season, but the same darkness, the same question. His name is Aristotle, and he sees things differently. Aristotle looks at the world around him and sees patterns. Everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. Circles are perfect. Spheres are divine. The universe, he thinks, must be perfect too. And perfection to him means completeness, wholeness. A sphere has no rough edges, no loose threads. It is finished, complete. So the universe, he decides, must be like that. Finite, bounded. A perfect sphere containing everything with nothing beyond it. Not because there's a wall, but because there is no beyond. Space itself ends where the universe ends. He teaches this idea. His students listen. His words spread across centuries. For a very long time, people believe him. The universe is finite, complete, perfect, knowable. But here's what's beautiful about all of this. Both men, Anaximander and Aristotle, were looking at the same sky, the same stars, the same darkness, and they came to completely different conclusions. One saw infinity, the other saw perfection. Both felt certain. Both felt they understood something true. And neither of them had any tools beyond their own minds. No satellites, no mathematics of curved space, no photographs of distant galaxies. Just thought. just imagination, just the willingness to look up and wonder. They sat under the stars the way you might sit under the stars now, feeling small, feeling curious, trying to wrap their minds around something too large to hold. And in that trying, in that reaching, they touched something eternal. Not an answer, but a question that doesn't age, doesn't fade, doesn't become less important just because time passes. Because tonight, thousands of years later, we're still asking the same thing. We have better tools now, bigger telescopes, faster computers. We've sent machines to the edge of our solar system and beyond. We've measured light from the beginning of time, and still we don't know. Is the universe infinite or finite, bounded or boundless, complete or endless? The question remains, hanging in the air like those ancient stars, patient, eternal, waiting for us the way it waited for Anaximander and Aristotle, the way it will wait for whoever comes after us. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the question isn't meant to be answered. Maybe it's meant to be asked, generation after generation, lifetime after lifetime, each person looking up feeling small, feeling wonder and asking in their own way, how big is this? Where does it end? Does it end? The ancient Greeks didn't know. We don't know. Perhaps our children's children won't know either. But we keep asking, because asking is part of being human. Wondering is part of being alive. So tonight, lying here, you're part of that long chain, connected to Anaximander on his hillside, connected to Aristotle in his garden, connected to every person who ever looked up and felt their mind stretched towards something vast. You're not alone in your wonder. You never were. The same stars that made them curious are making you curious now. The same darkness that held their questions holds yours, and that's enough. That connection, that shared mystery, let it wrap around you like a soft blanket. Let it remind you that some questions are more important than answers. Some mysteries are meant to stay mysterious. Breathe slowly now. Feel the weight of all those centuries, all those wondering minds, all those nights under all those stars. You're part of something ancient, something that will continue long after you're gone. And in that continuity, there's peace, there's rest, there's home. There's something about light that feels instant. You flip a switch and the room brightens immediately. You open your eyes in the morning and sunlight is simply there, warm on your face. It doesn't seem to travel. It doesn't seem to take time. Light just is. But that's not quite true. Light does travel, and it has a speed. The fastest speed in the universe, yes. Nothing moves faster than light. But fast doesn't mean instant. And that difference, that tiny delay between when light leaves and when light arrives, changes everything about how we understand the universe. Let me tell you what this means. When you look at the sun, you're not seeing it as it is right now in this moment. You're seeing it as it was about 8 minutes ago, because that's how long it takes for sunlight to travel from the sun to your eyes. 8 minutes. Not long, really. The time it takes to boil an egg. The time it takes to walk to a nearby store. But still 8 minutes in the past. The light you see left the sun before you looked up. It traveled through the darkness of space, moving as fast as anything can move, and finally reached your eyes. By the time you see it, 8 minutes have already passed. The sun could have changed in that time. It could have flickered, and you wouldn't know yet. You wouldn't know for 8 more minutes. Now think about the stars, those tiny points of light scattered across the night sky. Some of them are close, relatively speaking. Their light reaches us in just a few years, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years. When you look at these stars, you're seeing them as they were when you were younger, when you were a child maybe, or before you were born. Other stars are much farther away, hundreds of years away, thousands of years away. When you look at these stars, you're seeing light that left them during the Middle Ages, during the Roman Empire, during the time when humans were just learning to paint on cave walls. That light has been traveling all this time, moving through empty space, silent, patient, on a journey that takes longer than civilizations. And there are stars even farther than that. So far that their light has been traveling for millions of years. Tens of millions. Hundreds of millions. These stars, the ones you see twinkling faintly on the darkest nights, they might not even exist anymore. They might have burned out, collapsed, exploded into brilliant supernovas, and then faded into darkness. But you still see them shining, because their light is still on its way, still traveling, still carrying the memory of what they once were. Think about that for a moment. Every time you look up at the night sky, you're looking at a museum of light. Each star is a different age, a different moment in history. The universe doesn't show you what is, it shows you what was. A collection of ancient moments, all arriving now, all visible at once like letters from different decades, delivered on the same day. Some of those letters are recent, some are old, some are so old that the person who sent them is long gone. But the letter remains, the light remains, travelling faithfully across the void, carrying its message from the past into your present. And here's the part that makes you feel the true size of the universe. There are places so far away that their light hasn't reached us yet, hasn't even come close. Stars and galaxies that exist right now at this very moment, but whose light is still travelling through the darkness, still on its way. Those places are invisible to us, not because they don't exist, not because they're not real, but simply because we haven't received their light yet. We're still waiting for the letter to arrive. There could be a star being born right now, a beautiful, brilliant star exploding into existence with more light than 1,000,000 suns. But if it's far enough away, you won't see it. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not in your lifetime, maybe not in 1,000 lifetimes. The light will reach Earth eventually, but by then, everyone alive today will be long gone. Future humans, people we'll never meet, will look up and see that star for the first time, and they'll think they're discovering something new. But really, they're just receiving a very old message, a postcard from the distant past. This is what makes the universe so strange, so dreamlike. When you look out into space, you're also looking back in time. The farther you look, the older the light. The deeper you gaze, the more ancient the story. If you could somehow see far enough, you'd see all the way back to the beginning, to the first light that ever existed, the light from the birth of everything. But you can't see that far with just your eyes. That light is too old, too faint, stretched too thin by distance. It's there though, still travelling, still moving through space after billions of years, patient as a river, steady as a heartbeat. Every photon of light, every tiny particle of brightness is on a journey. Some journeys are short, some are unimaginably long, but each one carries something precious, a moment, a memory, a glimpse of what once was. And when that light finally reaches your eye, when it completes its journey and delivers its message, something extraordinary happens. The past and present touch. Time folds. And for just a moment, you're connected to something that happened long ago and far away. You become a witness to history. Not human history, but cosmic history. The history of stars and space and time itself. And all of it comes to you as light. Gentle, patient light, travelling through the dark, finding its way to you across distances too vast to imagine. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember this. The last light you saw before darkness came, that light was a traveller. It left its source across the distance to you and arrived just in time to be seen, just in time to tell you its story. And tomorrow, when you open your eyes again, new light will arrive. Light that left its source while you were sleeping. Light that travelled through the night to meet you in the morning. You are always receiving messages from the universe, always catching light that has been on a long journey. And in that way, you're never truly alone. You're always in conversation with the cosmos, always being reached by something distant and ancient and beautiful. Let that thought settle over you now. Let it slow your breathing. Let it ease your mind. The light has travelled so far to reach you, and now it's time to rest. Have you ever wondered why the night is dark? It seems like such a simple thing. Of course the night is dark, the sun goes down, and darkness comes. That's just how it works. But when you think about it more deeply, when you really consider what it means, the darkness becomes strange, becomes a puzzle, becomes something that shouldn't exist at all. Here's why. Imagine the universe is infinite. Imagine it goes on forever, in every direction, filled with stars. Billions and billions of stars. Trillions. An endless number of them scattered through endless space. If that's true, then no matter which direction you look eventually, your line of sight should hit a star. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the next few light years, but somewhere out there far away, there should be a star in that exact direction. And if there's a star in every direction, then the entire sky should be bright. Not just dotted with points of light, but completely filled with light. Every tiny piece of the night sky should glow with starlight. The night should be as bright as day, brighter even, because there would be infinitely many stars contributing their light. The sky should be blazing, overwhelming, a solid wall of brightness in every direction. But it's not. The night is dark, deeply beautifully dark, with just a few stars sprinkled here and there like salt on black velvet. So what's wrong? If the universe is infinite and full of stars, why isn't the sky ablaze with light? This question troubled a man named Heinrich Olbers. It kept him awake at night the way certain thoughts do, the way questions without easy answers tend to linger in your mind. He wondered and wondered, and eventually other people started calling it Olbers' paradox, the paradox of the dark night sky, a mystery hidden in plain sight, something so obvious we almost miss it, the darkness that shouldn't be there. For a long time, no one had a good answer. Some people suggested that maybe dust between the stars was blocking the light. Maybe all that distant starlight was trying to reach us but couldn't get through. But that doesn't really work, because if dust was absorbing all that light, the dust itself would heat up and start glowing, and we'd see that glow instead. So the darkness would still need explaining. The real answer is quieter, more subtle, more beautiful in a way. The night is dark because the universe has an age. It hasn't been here forever. It began. And that beginning means that light from the most distant stars simply hasn't had time to reach us yet. The universe is old, yes, incredibly old, but not infinitely old. And light, even though it moves faster than anything else, still takes time to travel. So when you look up at the dark spaces between the stars, you're not looking at emptiness. You're looking at distance. Distance so great that the light hasn't crossed it yet. Somewhere out there, far beyond what we can see, there are stars shining. Their light is on its way, but it hasn't arrived. Not yet. Maybe it will arrive thousands of years from now, millions of years from now. But tonight, their part of the sky is still dark, still waiting. There's another reason too, another piece of the answer. The universe isn't just sitting still. It's moving, expanding, growing larger. The space between galaxies is stretching like fabric being pulled at the edges. And as it stretches, the light traveling through it gets stretched too, gets pulled into longer wavelengths, gets shifted toward red, then toward infrared, then beyond what our eyes can see. Some of that distant starlight is still out there, still traveling toward us, but it's been stretched so much by the expanding universe that it's become invisible, silent, a whisper too faint to hear. So the darkness isn't absence, it's distance and time and the slow, patient expansion of everything. The darkness is full, actually, full of light we can't see yet, full of stories that haven't reached us, full of stars we'll never know because their light will never complete the journey. And there's something peaceful about that isn't there. The night doesn't have to show you everything. It doesn't have to reveal every star, every galaxy, every corner of existence. It can hold some things back. It can keep some secrets. The darkness is generous that way. It gives you just enough light to wonder by, just enough to feel curious, but not so much that there's nothing left to imagine. Think of the night sky as a blanket, a soft dark blanket pulled over the universe. and someone has embroidered stars onto it. Little points of brightness scattered across the fabric, not covering every inch, not overwhelming, just enough to be beautiful, just enough to remind you that there's light out there, even in the darkness, especially in the darkness. When you were a child, maybe you had a blanket like that, a blanket that felt safe, that felt like home. The night sky is like that too. The darkness isn't scary, it's comforting. It's the space between the lights, the quiet between the notes, and without it, the stars wouldn't shine at all. They need the darkness to be visible. They need that black velvet background to show their light. So the paradox isn't really a paradox at all. It's a gift. The darkness is telling us something about the universe, telling us that it has a history, a beginning, a story that's still unfolding. The darkness is proof that we live in a universe that changes, that grows, that hasn't been here forever, but came from somewhere, from something. And tonight, lying here, you can be grateful for that darkness, for the spaces between the stars, for the parts of the universe we can't see yet, because they remind us that there's always more, always something beyond what we know, always another mystery waiting. The darkness isn't empty. It's full of possibility, full of light that's still traveling, still on its way, still coming home. Let your eyes close now. Let the darkness behind your eyelids become your own private night sky. And in that darkness, let yourself float. Let yourself rest. You don't need to see everything. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to be here now, held by the same darkness that holds the stars. Safe, quiet, home. Once upon a time, not so very long ago, a man looked through a telescope and noticed something strange. His name was Edwin Hubble, and what he saw changed everything we thought we knew about the universe. He was looking at distant galaxies, those island cities of stars scattered throughout space, and he noticed they were all moving, all drifting, all traveling away from us. At first it seemed personal, like the universe was running away, like we had done something wrong and everything was leaving us behind. But then he looked more carefully and he realized something even stranger. The galaxies weren't just moving away from us, they were moving away from each other. Every galaxy was drifting away from every other galaxy. The entire universe was spreading out, growing larger, expanding, but expanding into what? That's the question that makes your mind stumble. Because we're used to things expanding into empty space. A balloon expands into the air around it. A city expands into the countryside. But the universe isn't expanding into anything. There's no outside, no container. Space itself is growing, stretching, becoming more, and that's very hard to picture. Let me give you an image. Imagine you're baking bread. You mix the dough and fold in some raisins. The raisins are scattered throughout the dough, evenly spread. Then you put the dough in the oven, and as it bakes, the dough begins to rise. The yeast works its magic. Air bubbles form. The whole loaf grows bigger. And as it grows, the raisins move apart from each other. Not because they're walking through the dough, not because they're pushing away from each other, but because the dough itself is expanding. The space between the raisins is increasing. If you're a tiny person standing on one raisin, you'd look around and see all the other raisins moving away from you. The closest ones would be moving slowly. The farther ones would be moving faster. And you might think, I must be at the center. Everything is leaving me. But if you hopped over to another raisin, you'd see the exact same thing. From that raisin's perspective, it would look like the center. All the other raisins would be moving away from it too. That's what's happening in our universe. The galaxies are like raisins, and space is like the dough. As space expands, the galaxies move apart, not through space, but with space. They're being carried along by the expansion itself. And from every galaxy, from every point of view, it looks like everything else is moving away. There is no center, or perhaps more accurately, everywhere is the center. Every place is equally valid. Every perspective is equally true. Here's another way to think about it. Imagine a balloon, not inflated yet, just a deflated piece of rubber. take a marker and draw some dots on it. Little dots scattered all over the surface. Each dot is a galaxy. Now start blowing air into the balloon. Slowly. Watch what happens to the dots. They move apart. The ones that were close together drift away from each other. The ones that were far apart drift even farther. But here's the important part. None of the dots are moving across the surface of the balloon. They're not sliding around. They're staying in exactly the same spot on the rubber. It's the rubber itself that's stretching. The surface of the balloon is growing. And as it grows, the dots naturally separate. The space between them increases. If you were an ant standing on one of those dots, you'd see all the other dots moving away from you. And the farther away a dot is, the faster it would seem to be moving, because there's more stretching rubber between you and it, more space expanding. But you're not special. You're not actually at the center of the balloon. The ant on any other dot would see exactly the same thing. From their perspective, they'd be at the center. Everything would be moving away from them. Now, the universe is more complicated than a balloon, of course. We're not living on the surface of a sphere, at least not one we can easily picture. But the principle is the same. Space is stretching, and as it stretches, everything in it moves apart. Galaxies, clusters of galaxies, vast cosmic structures, all of them drifting away from each other. Not because they're trying to escape, not because there's a force pushing them, but simply because the fabric of space itself is expanding. And here's what's both beautiful and disorienting about this. It means there's no privileged position in the universe, no special place. Earth is not the center. Our galaxy is not the center. There is no center. Or rather, every place is equally the center. From wherever you are, the universe looks the same, expanding outward in all directions, everything moving away, everything becoming more distant. This was a hard idea for people to accept at first. We like to think we're special, that we're important, that we occupy some meaningful position, and in a way we do, but not because of where we are in space. We're special because we're here at all, because we're alive and aware and capable of noticing the expansion, capable of looking out at the universe and realizing what's happening. Think about it for a moment. You are standing, or rather lying here, on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star in an ordinary galaxy. And that galaxy is drifting through space, carried along by the expansion of the universe itself. You're on a raft floating down an endless river, and every other raft is also floating away, not because the river is flowing, but because the river is becoming wider, more spacious, more vast. And yet despite all this movement, despite all this expansion, you feel still. You don't feel the motion. The earth beneath you seems solid, stable. The stars above seem fixed in place. It's only when we measure very carefully, when we look at the light from distant galaxies and see how it's stretched, that we realize we're part of this great cosmic dance. This slow, patient expansion that's been going on for billions of years, that will continue for billions more. The universe is not a static thing. It's not a painting hung on a wall. It's alive, breathing, growing. Every moment, there's a little more space than there was before. Every second, the galaxies are a little farther apart. And this has been happening since the beginning, since that first moment when everything began. The universe has been expanding ever since, unfolding like a flower, opening like a hand. And somehow, in the middle of all this expansion, in the middle of all this growing and stretching and drifting apart, here you are. Here we are, aware of it, thinking about it, feeling small but also connected, part of something so much larger than ourselves, a galaxy among galaxies, a point of consciousness in an expanding cosmos. Let that thought settle over you now. You are part of the expansion. Your atoms were forged in ancient stars. Your body is made of space and time. And right now in this moment, you're resting, breathing slowly, feeling the weight of your body on the bed, while all around you invisible and silent, the universe continues its slow, eternal expansion, growing, stretching, becoming more. There's nothing you need to do about it. Nothing you need to understand completely. You can just lie here and be part of it, be a witness to it, a small, quiet witness to the grandest show in existence, the universe expanding, and you resting peacefully within it, held by it, home. If the universe is expanding, growing larger with each passing moment, then something curious follows, something simple but profound. If we imagine running time backward, like rewinding a film, the universe must have been smaller in the past, smaller yesterday than today, smaller last year than this year, smaller 1,000,000 years ago than now. And if we keep going back further and further into the past, the universe keeps getting smaller, denser, more compressed. All that space, all those galaxies, all that emptiness between the stars squeeze together, closer and closer, tighter and tighter, until finally, if we go back far enough, we arrive at a beginning, a moment when everything was pressed together in a space almost impossibly small, almost impossibly hot, almost impossibly dense. That moment, that beginning, is what we call the Big Bang, though the name is a bit misleading, because it wasn't really a bang at all. Not an explosion in the way you might imagine. Not something that went off in empty space sending debris flying outward. No, it was gentler than that, stranger than that, more fundamental than that. The Big Bang was the moment when space itself began, when time began. Not an explosion in the universe, but an explosion of the universe. Everything starting at once, not from a single point in space, but from every point at once. Because all of space was contained in that tiny beginning. There was nowhere else, no outside, no before, just the starting moment, the first instant, the dawn of everything. Try to imagine it, though it's almost impossible to picture. There's no space yet, no stars, no galaxies, no light, just potential, just the seed of everything that will ever be. And then in an instant, that's not quite an instant, because time itself is being born, it begins. Not with the sound, because there's no air yet to carry sound. Not with light, because light takes a moment to form. But with expansion, with becoming, with the universe learning how to be. In those first fractions of a second, everything happens faster than thought, faster than imagination. Space unfolds, particles appear, energy swirls and dances and transforms. It's too hot for anything solid to form, too chaotic for anything stable. But the seeds are there, the potential, the promise of everything that will come later. And then, after a time, after the universe has cooled, just enough light appears. The first light. Not from a star, because stars don't exist yet, but from the universe itself. From the cooling, expanding sea of energy. Light floods into existence. Not going anywhere yet, because space is still too thick, too crowded with particles. The light bounces around, trapped like a bird in a room with no windows. But the universe keeps expanding, keeps cooling. And eventually, after hundreds of thousands of years, the universe becomes transparent. The light is finally set free. It streams out in all directions, traveling through space for the first time. This is the universe's first dawn, its first sunrise. And that light is still traveling, still moving through space. We can detect it now, very faint, very cold, coming from every direction. The afterglow of creation, the echo of that first morning. Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean before dawn. The sky is dark, the water is dark. Everything is still and quiet. You're waiting, just waiting. And then slowly, almost imperceptibly, the darkness begins to change. Not all at once, but gradually. A hint of grey appears on the horizon, then a touch of blue, then a whisper of gold. The light is coming. You can feel it more than see it at first. A shift in the air, a change in the quality of the darkness. And then the first ray of sun breaks over the horizon. Just a sliver, just the edge. But it's enough. Light spills across the water, transforms the darkness into colour, into movement, into life. That's what the Big Bang was like. Not a violent explosion, but a gentle unfolding, a patient becoming, the universe waking up, opening its eyes, beginning to be. And here's what's beautiful about this. It happened so long ago, more than 13 billion years ago, a length of time that's hard to grasp, hard to hold in your mind. If you tried to count to 13 billion, counting one number per second, it would take you over 400 years. And this is billions of years. A time so vast that entire civilizations could rise and fall in less than a blink of cosmic time. But despite all that time, despite all that distance, we're still connected to that moment. The atoms in your body were born in that early universe. The hydrogen in your cells, the most common element in your body, was formed in the first few minutes after the Big Bang. You are quite literally made of the beginning, carrying pieces of that first dawn inside you, in every breath, in every heartbeat. And the light from that moment is still here too, still travelling. If we could see in the right wavelengths, we'd see it all around us. A faint glow coming from every direction. The oldest light in the universe, the first light, still moving, still carrying the memory of what it was like when everything began. Some people find this knowledge overwhelming. The idea that everything, all of this, all of existence, started from something so small, from a single moment, from a beginning. It seems impossible, too strange, too unlikely. But others find it comforting, because if the universe can begin, if it can unfold from something tiny into something vast, then maybe anything is possible. Maybe beginnings are everywhere. Maybe every moment is a kind of Big Bang, a chance for something new to emerge. You've experienced beginnings too. Different kinds, smaller scales, but real nonetheless. The first day of school, the first time you fell in love, the first morning in a new home, the moment you woke up from a dream and couldn't remember where you were. Each of these is a little universe being born, a new chapter, a new story, a new you emerging from the you that was. And every night when you fall asleep, there's an ending, a little death, some cultures call it, a release from the day, from consciousness, from the need to be awake and aware. And every morning when you wake up, there's a beginning, a little birth, a return to the world, to light, to awareness. You are constantly experiencing this cycle, this pattern of ending and beginning, of darkness and light, of sleep and waking. The universe does this too in its own way. It began, it's unfolding, and perhaps billions of years from now, it will end or transform into something else. But that's a story for another time. For now, the universe is in its middle chapter, growing, expanding, becoming more, and you're here witnessing it, part of it, made of the same stuff that exploded into being all those billions of years ago. So let yourself rest now. Let yourself sink into that ancient pattern, the pattern of ending and beginning, of darkness and light. You don't need to understand it all. You don't need to hold the whole story in your mind. You just need to be here, to breathe, to exist. That's enough, more than enough. The universe began in silence and light. And tonight, you can end your day in the same way, in silence, in the soft light behind your eyelids, in the gentle darkness that comes before sleep. You are safe. You are held. You are part of something that began long ago and continues still. And in the morning, you'll begin again, fresh, new, like the first light of the first dawn. But for now, rest. Let go. Let the darkness hold you. Let sleep come softly like the universe unfolding. Gentle, patient, inevitable. Here's a question that sounds strange at first. What shape is the universe? When you hear it, you might think, shape? The universe doesn't have a shape. It's just space. It's everywhere. How can everywhere have a shape? But it turns out space itself can curve, can bend, can have geometry. And the shape of that geometry determines something profound. Whether the universe is finite or infinite. Whether it has an end or goes on forever. Let me walk you through this gently. Imagine you're standing in a field. A vast flat field covered in soft grass. The kind of field that seems to stretch forever in every direction. You start walking, north let's say, and you walk and walk. Hours pass, days, years, and the field continues, always flat, always extending ahead of you. No matter how far you go, there's always more field, more grass, more horizon. This is what a flat universe would be like, infinite, boundless, going on forever, without curve or edge. Now imagine something different. Imagine you're standing on the surface of a sphere. A giant sphere so large you can't see its curvature. It looks flat to you. It feels flat. But it's not. It's curved. And if you start walking in one direction north, again, you'll notice something eventually. After an incredibly long time, you'll find yourself coming back to where you started. You've walked around the entire sphere. The surface is finite. It has a size, a total area. But here's the strange part. You never hit a wall. You never reached an edge. You just kept walking on a surface that curves back on itself. This is what a curved universe would be like. Not infinite, but also without boundary. You could travel forever and never hit the end of space because there is no end, no wall, no edge, just curvature, just the geometry of space folding back on itself. Finite but boundless, a size without an edge. There's a third possibility too, a universe that curves the other way. Instead of curving like the outside of a sphere, it curves like a saddle, or like the shape of a Pringle chip, if you've ever noticed how it curves up in one direction and down in another. This kind of curvature is harder to picture, harder to walk through in your imagination, but it would also be infinite. Space extending forever, just with a different kind of geometry, a different kind of forever. So which is it? What shape is our universe? Scientists have measured this. They've looked at the oldest light in the universe, the light from the Big Bang's afterglow, and they've studied how it's distributed across the sky, how it curves, how it bends. And what they've found is that our universe appears to be flat, or very, very close to flat. So close that we can't tell if there's a tiny curve we haven't detected yet. If it's truly flat, then the universe is infinite. It goes on forever. There's no end to space. You could travel in one direction for all of eternity and never come back to where you started. Never hit a boundary. Just more space. Always more. But if there's even the tiniest curve, too small for us to measure, yet then, the universe might be finite after all. Huge beyond imagining, but with a size, a total volume, though still without an edge, still without a place where you could say, here is where space stops. Think about Earth for a moment. When people thought the world was flat, they worried about falling off the edge. They imagined a great waterfall at the end of the ocean, a place where you could go too far and tumble into nothingness. But of course, Earth isn't flat. It's round, and because it's round, you can sail forever without falling off. There are no edges, no boundaries. You just keep going around and around. The surface is finite, with a measurable area, but it has no end, no place you can't reach, no forbidden zone. The universe might be like that, finite in total size, but without any boundaries. You could point your spaceship in any direction and fly forever, and you'd never reach a wall. Never find a sign that says end of universe. You just keep going through space, perhaps eventually, after an unimaginably long journey, arriving back where you started. Though that journey would take longer than the current age of the universe, longer than stars will live. So in a practical sense, it might as well be infinite. But here's what's beautiful about all of this. Whether the universe is flat and infinite, or curved and finite, it doesn't have edges. There's no place where space just stops. No point where you could reach out your hand and touch nothing. No boundary between inside and outside. The universe is everything. There is no outside. There is only in, only here, only this. When you were a child, maybe you asked, what's at the edge of space? And maybe an adult told you there is no edge. And maybe you felt frustrated. Because how can something not have an edge? Everything you know has edges. Rooms have walls. Books have covers. Even the sky seems to have a horizon. But the universe is different. It's not a thing inside space. It is space. And space doesn't need an edge to exist. Imagine you're an ant living on a balloon. To you, the surface of the balloon is the entire universe. You don't know about the inside of the balloon or the air around it. You only know the surface. And on that surface, there are no edges, no boundaries. You can walk forever and never fall off. The question, what's at the edge, doesn't even make sense, because there is no edge. The surface is all there is. We might be like that ant, living in a space that is all there is, asking about edges when there are no edges to find, not because we're stupid or limited, but because the universe itself is edgeless, complete in itself, whole without needing to be contained by anything. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's even comforting, because if the universe has no edges, then there's no place you can go that's outside of it, no place you can fall to, no direction you can travel that leads to nothingness. Wherever you are, you're inside the universe, part of it, held by it, safe within its geometry, whether that geometry is flat and infinite or curved and finite. Tonight, lying here, you're at a point in space, one point among countless others, and from your point, space extends in every direction. No matter which way you imagine going, there's space there, and more space beyond that, and more beyond that. Either forever or curving back eventually, but either way, continuous, unbroken, whole. You don't need to picture it perfectly. You don't need to visualize four-dimensional geometry or imagine walking around a closed universe. You just need to know that you're not at risk of falling off. You're not near any edge. You're deep inside something vast and complete. Something that holds you, that contains you, that is in a very real sense your home. So let your mind rest now. Let go of the need to understand the shape completely. Let the universe be whatever shape it is, flat or curved, infinite or finite. It doesn't change the fact that you're here, safe, real, part of the whole. And that's all that matters right now. Just being here, just resting in this moment, in this place, in this small corner of a universe that whatever its shape has room for you, always has, always will. Close your eyes, feel the bed beneath you, feel the weight of your body. That's enough geometry for tonight. That's enough space. You are here, and here is enough, more than enough. Let sleep come now, soft as the curve of space itself, gentle as infinity, quiet as the universe holding you close. There's a place in the universe we can never see beyond, not because there's a wall there, not because space ends, but simply because light from anything farther away hasn't had time to reach us yet. It's like a horizon, a cosmic horizon. And just like the horizon you see when you stand on a beach, it's not really an edge. It's just the limit of what your eyes can reach. Imagine you're standing on a quiet shore. Early morning, the ocean is calm and grey. You look out toward the water and you see the line where the sea meets the sky. That line, that gentle curve, is the horizon. It looks like the end of the world. Like if you could sail to that line, you'd reach the place where ocean stops. But of course, you know that's not true. The ocean continues beyond what you can see. The horizon isn't the edge of the sea. It's just the edge of your view. If you started walking along the beach, the horizon would move with you. It would stay the same distance away, always just out of reach. And someone standing far down the beach would have their own horizon, different from yours but equally real. The horizon is personal. It belongs to the observer. It's the boundary of what can be seen from where you stand. The universe has a horizon like this too. We call it the observable universe. And it's not the whole universe. It's just the part we can see, the part whose light has had time to travel to us. Beyond that horizon, there's more universe, more galaxies, more stars, more space. But we can't see it. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Here's why. The universe began a long time ago, about 13 billion years ago, and light has been traveling ever since. But even though light moves incredibly fast, it still takes time to cross vast distances. So there's a limit to how far we can see. We can only see light that has had enough time to reach us since the beginning. Anything farther away than that, its light is still traveling, still on its way, still crossing the dark space between there and here. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a large dark room, and at the exact moment you turn on a lamp, someone at the far end of the room starts walking toward you, but they walk very slowly. So slowly that even though they started immediately, they're still not here yet. You can't see them because the light from the lamp hasn't reached them and bounced back to you. They're in the darkness still, not because they don't exist, but because the light hasn't completed its journey yet. That's what's happening with distant parts of the universe. They exist. They're out there. Galaxies are shining. Stars are being born and dying. Planets are orbiting. But we can't see any of it because the light hasn't arrived yet. And depending on how the universe expands, some of that light may never arrive. Some parts of the universe may be forever beyond our horizon, forever in the darkness of our particular view. But here's the strange and beautiful part. The horizon is always moving. Every second light from slightly farther away reaches us. Every day, our view expands just a tiny bit. The observable universe is growing. Not because the universe itself is growing, though it is, but because light from farther and farther away finally completes its long journey and arrives at our eyes, at our telescopes, at our instruments. We're constantly receiving new messages from the depths of space, new letters from distant stars. And at the same time, because the universe is expanding, some things are moving away from us faster than light can catch up. Galaxies that we can see now will eventually cross our horizon in the other direction. Their light will become so stretched, so diluted by the expansion of space that it will fade from view. They'll drift beyond what we can ever see again, silently, gradually, like ships sailing over the horizon, never to return. So the observable universe is always shifting, always changing. A horizon that moves in both directions, revealing new territories while hiding old ones. It's like standing on the shore at sunrise. At first, you see only darkness. Then slowly, the light grows, and you start to see the waves, the distant islands, the birds flying low over the water. Your view expands. But if you stay there long enough, eventually, the sun will set again, and some of what you saw will fade back into darkness. The horizon gives and takes, shows and hides. This can feel sad, can't it? The idea that there are parts of the universe we'll never see, galaxies we'll never know about, stars whose light will never reach us. It's like knowing there are beautiful places on Earth you'll never visit, books you'll never read, people you'll never meet. The universe is so vast that even light moving at the fastest possible speed can't show it all to us. But there's another way to think about it, another way to feel about this horizon. Because maybe the mystery is the gift. Maybe not seeing everything is what makes the universe so compelling, so enchanting. If we could see it all, if there were no horizon, no limit, no hidden regions, would it still feel so magical? Would we still look up at the night sky with wonder? The horizon invites imagination. It suggests there's more, always more. Beyond what we know, beyond what we can see, there are more stories, more galaxies, more mysteries. And we'll never run out of things to discover. Never reach a point where we can say, well, that's everything. We've seen it all. There will always be more horizon, always another boundary to push against, always something beyond. When you were a child, maybe you loved the feeling of not knowing what was around the corner, the excitement of walking down a path and wondering what you'd find. The universe offers us that same feeling, but on the largest possible scale. Every time we build a better telescope, every time we develop a new way of seeing, we push the horizon a little farther. And we discover things we never imagined, things we didn't even have words for. But we'll never see it all. And that's okay. That's part of being finite creatures in an infinite or near infinite universe. We can't hold everything, can't see everything, can't know everything. We're limited, but our limitation isn't a flaw. It's what makes us who we are. It's what makes discovery possible. Because you can't discover something if you already know everything. So tonight, as you lie here, imagine you're standing on that shore, looking out at the ocean. The horizon is there, steady and gentle. You can't see beyond it, but you know there's more ocean out there, more water, more waves, more sky. And that knowledge is enough. You don't need to see it all to know it's there. You don't need to reach the horizon to appreciate the view from here. Your life has horizons too. Things you haven't experienced yet, places you haven't been, people you haven't met, dreams you haven't realized. And you can't see beyond those horizons either. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, what next year will hold, where you'll be in a decade. But that's not a problem to solve. It's just the nature of time, the nature of being alive, moving through moments one at a time, discovering what's beyond each horizon as you reach it. And for now, this moment is enough. This breath is enough. This place where you are right here, right now, is enough. You don't need to see beyond your horizon tonight. You don't need to know what's coming. You just need to rest, to close your eyes, to let the darkness behind your eyelids become your own private universe, small and safe and completely yours. The cosmic horizon will still be there tomorrow, still inviting you to wonder, still hiding its secrets, still promising more. But tonight, let it fade. Let it drift away, like a distant shore disappearing in fog. You don't need the whole universe right now. You just need this small space, this bed, this breath, this moment of peace. And that's all there is. That's all there needs to be. Let yourself sink into it. Let the horizon drift away. Let sleep come soft and sure as waves on sand. Here's something that might surprise you. Most of the universe is invisible, not far away, not hidden behind clouds or dust, just invisible. It doesn't shine, doesn't glow, doesn't reflect light, and yet it's there, everywhere. In fact, there's far more of this invisible substance than there is of the bright visible matter that makes up stars and planets and us. We call it dark matter, not because it's black or shadowy, but simply because it doesn't interact with light. Light passes right through it. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say, light doesn't notice it at all. And it doesn't notice light. They exist in the same space, but they don't touch, don't affect each other. Like two people walking through a crowded room, never making eye contact, never colliding. So if we can't see it, how do we know it's there? That's a good question. A fair question. And the answer is simple though. The implications are strange. We know it's there because we can feel its gravity. We can see what it does to the things we can see. It's like the wind. You can't see the wind itself. It's just moving air, invisible and clear. But you can see what the wind does. You can watch leaves rustle, see branches bend, feel the breeze on your face. You know the wind is there, even though you can't see it. Dark matter is like that. We can't see it directly, but we can see how it pulls on galaxies, how it bends light from distant stars, how it holds clusters of galaxies together when by all rights they should be flying apart. The gravity is there, strong, undeniable, but the source of that gravity doesn't shine, doesn't show itself. It's present but hidden, real but invisible. Imagine walking through a forest at night, a deep forest, no moon, no flashlight, just darkness. You can't see the trees, but you know they're there, because you can hear the leaves rustling in the breeze. You can hear your footsteps change when you walk on roots. You can feel the air grow cooler where the trees are thickest. The forest is hidden from your eyes, but it's present in every other sense. You're surrounded by something vast and old and alive, but you can only know it through its effects, through the sounds it makes, the way it shapes the space around you. That's what dark matter is like. It fills the universe. It surrounds galaxies like a halo. It threads through the space between stars. Scientists estimate that for every bit of normal matter, the matter we can see, there are 5 bits of dark matter. 5 times as much invisible stuff as visible stuff. The universe is mostly hidden from us, mostly made of something we don't understand, something we've never touched or seen or directly measured. And we don't know what it is. We have theories, ideas, mathematical models, but we don't really know. It's not made of atoms like you and me. It's not made of the same particles that make up stars and rocks and water. It's something else, something different, something that exists alongside our world but doesn't quite interact with it, except through gravity, always through gravity. Some people find this unsettling, the idea that most of the universe is invisible, that we're surrounded by something we can't perceive, that what we think of as reality, the bright stars and glowing nebulae and shining planets, is just a thin layer on top of something much larger, much more substantial, like the foam on top of a wave, beautiful and visible, but not the wave itself. But there's another way to look at it, another way to feel about this invisible majority, because maybe the invisible parts of the universe are what hold everything together. Maybe dark matter is like the roots of a tree. You can't see roots, they're underground, hidden, but without them, the tree would fall. The branches and leaves and flowers we see and admire are only possible because of what's hidden beneath, the unseen foundation. Dark matter might be the foundation of the cosmos, the framework, the scaffolding upon which galaxies form and grow. Without it, stars might never have clustered together. Galaxies might never have formed. And without galaxies, there would be no planets, no Earth, no us. We exist because of something we can't see. We're held in place by an invisible hand, gentle, constant, always pulling, always keeping things together. Think about all the invisible things in your life. The air you breathe. You can't see it, but you die without it. The thoughts in your mind. Invisible, but they shape everything you do. Love. You can't see love. You can only see its effects. The way people care for each other. The way they sacrifice. The way they stay. Gravity itself. You've never seen gravity, but you feel it every moment. It keeps you grounded. Keeps the Earth orbiting the sun. Keeps the moon circling the Earth. The universe is full of invisible things. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's even beautiful. Because it means there's always more than meets the eye. Always depth beneath the surface. Always mystery woven into the fabric of existence. We live in a universe that's richer and stranger than we can fully perceive. And that makes it more wonderful, not less. When you close your eyes at night, the world doesn't disappear. It's still there, still real, just invisible to you in that moment. The stars are still shining, the wind is still blowing, the earth is still turning, all of it happening whether you see it or not. And dark matter is like that, always there, always present, working in ways we're only beginning to understand, holding the universe together with invisible threads, silent, patient, essential. And maybe that's a comfort. Maybe it's good to know that the universe has secrets, that there are things we haven't figured out yet, things we might never fully understand, because it means the universe is bigger than our understanding, deeper than our knowledge. It can't be reduced to what we already know. It keeps surprising us, keeps challenging us, keeps reminding us that we're small and the cosmos is vast. You are surrounded by mystery right now, even in this room, even in this moment. The dark matter is there passing through you, through the walls, through the earth itself, invisible, unfelt, but real, contributing its gravity to the great dance of the cosmos. And you're part of that dance too, made of the bright matter, the visible matter, the matter that shines, but held and shaped by the invisible majority, by the dark scaffolding of the universe. And that's okay. You don't need to see everything to trust that you're held. You don't need to understand everything to know that you're safe. The universe has always been mostly invisible, and it's always held you, always supported you, always provided the framework for your existence. The dark matter has been there since the beginning, and it will be there long after. Constant, reliable, invisible, but essential. So let yourself relax into that mystery now. Let yourself be held by things you can't see. Like the dark matter holds galaxies, like the air holds your breath, like sleep will hold you soon. Invisible, but real. Present, but hidden. You don't need to understand it. You just need to trust it, to rest in it, to let it do what it does, which is to hold, to support, to keep everything together, including you. Close your eyes. Feel the darkness behind your eyelids. That darkness is full too. Full of thoughts and dreams and possibilities. Full of things you can't see but will experience soon. Sleep is coming. Invisible. Quiet. But you can feel it approaching. Like dark matter. Like wind. Like love. You can't see it, but you know it's there. And soon, very soon, it will take you, gently, completely, into its invisible embrace. We've talked about how the universe is expanding, how galaxies are drifting apart from each other, how space itself is growing. And for a long time, scientists assumed that this expansion would gradually slow down, like a ball thrown into the air. It rises fast at first, then slower and slower as gravity pulls it back. Eventually, it stops rising and falls back down. That's what they expected. The universe expanding, yes, but slowing, being pulled back by its own gravity, maybe even collapsing eventually. But then, not so long ago, they made a discovery so strange, so unexpected, that at first people didn't believe it. They measured the expansion very carefully. They looked at distant supernovas, exploding stars that act like cosmic lighthouses, and they found something impossible. The expansion wasn't slowing down. It was speeding up. Speeding up. Think about that for a moment. The universe is getting bigger faster now than it was billions of years ago. Something is pushing it, accelerating it, driving galaxies apart with increasing force. But what could possibly do that gravity pulls things together? That's what gravity does. So what's pushing things apart? They called it dark energy, not because they understand it, but because they don't. It's dark in the sense that it's mysterious, hidden, unknown. And they call it energy because it seems to fill space itself. Every cubic centimeter of empty space has this energy in it. And as space expands, there's more space, which means more dark energy, which means more pushing, more acceleration. A feedback loop that never ends. Imagine throwing a stone into a calm pond. The stone hits the water and ripples spread out. Circles of waves moving away from the center. At first the ripples are strong, clear, but as they spread, they get weaker, smaller, gentler, until eventually they fade away completely. That's what we'd expect. Energy dispersing, dissipating, fading with distance. But imagine instead that the ripples got stronger as they spread. The waves growing taller, moving faster, spreading wider and wider with increasing energy instead of decreasing energy. That would be strange, wouldn't it? Unnatural. Against everything we know about how waves work. But that's what's happening with the universe. The expansion is accelerating. The cosmic ripples are growing stronger, not weaker. And the most mysterious part, dark energy, makes up most of the universe, even more than dark matter. About 70% of everything is dark energy. 70% of existence is the strange, invisible, unexplained force that's pushing everything apart, driving the cosmos towards some unknown future, some distant destiny we can barely imagine. Scientists don't know what dark energy is. They have ideas, theories, mathematical descriptions, but they don't really understand it. They can measure its effects. They can see what it does, but they don't know why it exists, or what it's made of, or where it comes from. It's the biggest mystery in all of science right now. This invisible force that dominates the universe, that shapes the fate of everything, and we don't know what it is. Some people find this disturbing, the idea that we don't understand most of the universe, that 70% of existence is a complete mystery, that we're like children playing in a tide pool, while an entire ocean stretches beyond us, vast and unknown. It can make you feel small, ignorant, lost in something too big to grasp. But there's another way to look at it, another way to feel about this profound not knowing. Because maybe it's okay not to understand everything. Maybe it's even necessary. Maybe mystery is part of what makes the universe beautiful. If we knew everything, if every question had an answer, if every mystery was solved, would life still feel magical? Would the stars still inspire wonder? Think about your own life for a moment. Think about all the things you don't understand. Why you love certain people. Why certain songs make you cry. Why you dream the dreams you dream. Why some days feel light and others feel heavy. You don't have explanations for most of what you feel, most of what you experience. But that doesn't make it less real, less valuable, less true. The universe is like that too. We don't need to understand dark energy for it to be real, for it to be doing its work, pushing galaxies apart, shaping space, determining the future. It's there. It's real. And our ignorance doesn't change that. We're surrounded by forces we don't comprehend, living in a cosmos we barely understand. And somehow, we're okay. We're here. We're alive. We're experiencing this mystery firsthand. And maybe that's enough. Maybe being part of something larger than our understanding is actually a gift. Because it means we'll never be bored, never run out of questions, never reach a point where we've figured it all out and there's nothing left to wonder about. The universe will always be deeper than our deepest thoughts, wider than our widest theories, more mysterious than our best explanations. Dark energy is pushing things apart, slowly but surely. Galaxies that are near each other now will be farther apart tomorrow, and farther still the day after. Eventually, billions of years from now, galaxies outside our local group will be so far away that their light won't reach us anymore. They'll disappear beyond the horizon, and future astronomers, if there are any, will look up at a much emptier sky. Fewer galaxies, more darkness, more space between the lights. But that's so far in the future, it's almost meaningless. Right now tonight, the stars are still there. The galaxies are still visible. The universe is still full of light and structure and beauty. Dark energy is working, but slowly, patiently, on timescales so vast that human lifetimes are like single heartbeats. You'll never notice the acceleration, never feel the pushing. It's happening, but it's gentle, quiet, like everything else in the cosmos, patient beyond measure. And in a strange way, there's something peaceful about that, about knowing that the universe is doing something we don't understand, that it has its own reasons, its own momentum, its own future. We're not in control of it. We're not supposed to be. We're just passengers, observers, witnesses to something ancient and ongoing and beautiful. We don't need to steer. We don't need to understand. We just need to be here, to watch, to wonder. So tonight, let yourself not know. Let yourself be okay with the mystery, with the dark energy pushing things apart in ways we can't explain, with the universe doing what it does without asking our permission or seeking our understanding. It's been doing this since long before we were here, and it will continue long after we're gone. And that's okay. That's how it should be. You are part of something vast and mysterious, something that doesn't need to be understood to be experienced. You're here, now, in this moment, breathing, existing, part of the great expansion, part of the cosmic dance. And you don't need to know the steps. You don't need to understand the music. You just need to move with it, to flow with it, to let it carry you where it will. Close your eyes now. Feel yourself expanding, not physically, but mentally, spiritually. Let your awareness spread out. Let go of the need to control, to understand, to know. Just be, just exist. Just float in this moment like a galaxy floating in space, pushed by forces you can't see, held by forces you can't understand, but safe, always part of the whole, always home. Dark energy is pushing, gently, slowly, and you can let it. You can let everything be as it is. You can rest in the not knowing, in the mystery, in the beautiful, profound, eternal mystery of being alive in a universe we'll never fully comprehend. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's perfect. Let sleep come now. Let it push you gently into dreams, into darkness, into peace. What if our universe isn't the only one? What if somewhere beyond everything we can see or measure or imagine, there are other universes, other realities, other versions of space and time, each with their own stars, their own galaxies, their own laws of physics, each one complete and separate and real. This is the idea of the multiverse, and some scientists think it might be true. It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? Like something from a story. But the mathematics points to it. The equations that describe how the universe began suggest that maybe our Big Bang wasn't the only one. Maybe it happens all the time, everywhere, in ways and places we can't perceive. New universes bubbling into existence like foam on the surface of an infinite ocean. Imagine standing by the sea. A wave rolls in and crashes against the rocks, and in that crashing foam appears thousands of tiny bubbles. each one perfect and round and complete, each one containing its own tiny pocket of air, each one separate from the others, even though they're all part of the same foam. They form, they float, they shimmer in the sunlight for a moment, and then they pop, gone, dissolved back into the sea. That might be what universes are like, bubbles in some vast cosmic foam, each one a separate reality, each one with its own space, its own time, its own story. Our universe is one bubble, and maybe just beyond the edge of what we can ever observe, there's another bubble, another universe, and another, an infinity of them, all floating in something larger, something we can't even begin to understand. Inside each bubble, inside each universe, things might be different. The laws of physics might not be the same. Gravity might be stronger or weaker. Light might move at a different speed. Stars might form differently, or not form at all. Some universes might be empty, just space with nothing in it. Others might be full of strange matter we can't imagine. And some like ours might have galaxies and planets, and maybe even life. You might be wondering, if these other universes exist, can we ever see them? Can we ever prove they're there? And the answer, as far as we know, is no. They're beyond our horizon, beyond what light can reach, beyond space itself as we understand it. Each universe is its own closed system, its own complete reality. The bubbles don't touch, don't overlap, don't communicate. They float separately in the cosmic foam, forever isolated from each other. So why do scientists think about this? If we can never see these other universes, if we can never prove they exist, why even consider the possibility? Because the mathematics suggests it. Because the theories that work so well to describe our universe seem to naturally produce more than one. The multiverse isn't something scientists wanted to find. It's something that emerged from the equations. A side effect of the math that describes reality. And there's something beautiful about it, isn't there? The idea that we might be just one story among countless stories. One reality in an infinite library of realities. It makes our universe feel less lonely somehow, less like an accident, less like the only thing that could have happened. Because if there are infinite universes, then everything that can happen does happen, somewhere. Think about the choices you've made in your life, the roads you took and the roads you didn't take, every decision point, every fork in the path. You chose one way, but what about the other way? In another universe, maybe there's another version of you who chose differently, who took the job you didn't take, who moved to the city you didn't move to, who said yes when you said no. If the multiverse is real, then all those possibilities exist somewhere. All those versions of your life are being lived, not here, not in this universe, but in others, in parallel realities where things unfolded differently, where chance went another way, where the coin landed on heads instead of tails. It's a strange thought, comforting and unsettling at the same time. But maybe it takes the pressure off a little, because if every possibility exists somewhere, then the path you chose isn't the only path, isn't the right or wrong path. It's just the path you took in this universe, in this bubble, and that's enough. You don't have to wonder what would have happened if you'd chosen differently, because somewhere in some other universe, you did choose differently, and that version of you is living that life, and this version of you is living this one. And maybe all those versions are equally real, equally valid, each one experiencing their own reality, their own joys and sorrows, their own journey. You're not alone, even in the most fundamental sense. There might be countless yous, scattered across countless universes, all living, all real, all connected by the fact that you're all versions of the same possibility, the same potential, the same soul, perhaps expressed in infinite ways. Of course, we don't know if any of this is true. The multiverse is just a theory, an idea, a mathematical possibility. We might live in the only universe. This might be it, all of existence contained in one bubble. And that's okay too. That's beautiful in its own way, because it makes everything here more precious, more unique, more meaningful. If this is the only reality, then every moment matters, every choice counts, Every breath is unrepeatable. But if there are infinite universes, that's beautiful too, because it means existence is even grander than we imagined, even more creative, even more abundant. Reality doesn't just happen once, it happens infinitely, in every possible way, and we're part of that infinity, part of that endless creativity, part of the cosmic foam that never stops bubbling, never stops creating, never stops exploring what's possible. Imagine you're floating in warm water, eyes closed, body relaxed, and all around you, you can hear gentle sounds, little pops and bubbles, water moving, life happening. You're not alone in the water. There are others floating too, though you can't see them, can't touch them. You're each in your own space, your own moment, but you're all part of the same ocean, all held by the same water, all sharing the same existence, even if you never meet. That's what the multiverse might be like. Each universe floating in its own space, each one separate, but all of them part of something larger, something that contains them all, something that allows them to be. We might never meet the other universes, never see them or know them, but maybe just knowing they might be there is enough. Maybe it's comforting to think that existence is bigger than we ever dreamed, more generous, more creative, more abundant. You are here, in this universe, in this moment, and whether this is the only universe or one of infinite universes doesn't change the fact that you're real, that your life matters, that your experience is valid and true and precious. You exist. That's the miracle. Not where you exist or how many other places might exist alongside this one. Just that you're here at all, alive, aware, breathing. So let yourself float now, like a bubble in cosmic foam, light and free, held by something larger, part of something vast. You don't need to understand it all. Don't need to know if other universes are real. You just need to be here, in this one, in this moment, in this breath. Let everything else fade. Let the multiverse, if it exists, be out there somewhere, doing its thing, while you're here, doing yours, which is simply to rest, to breathe, to be. That's enough. More than enough. That's everything. Close your eyes. Feel the stillness. You're a bubble floating in infinite space. Separate but connected. Alone but part of everything. And in this moment, in this universe, in this one precious reality, you are home. You are safe. You're exactly where you need to be. Let sleep take you now, gently, like a wave carrying a bubble back to the sea, back to the source, back to the beginning. Rest now. Dream now. Float now. You are held. You are loved. You are home. Time feels eternal, doesn't it? Like it's always been flowing, always moving forward, always there. When you think about yesterday, you know there was a day before that, and before that, and before that. It seems like you could keep going back forever. That time stretches infinitely into the past. No beginning, no starting point, just an endless river flowing from somewhere beyond memory. But here's something strange to consider. If the universe had a beginning, if everything started with the Big Bang, then time had a beginning too. Because time isn't separate from the universe. Time is part of it, woven into the fabric of space itself. Before the universe existed, there was no time. Not because time was frozen or stopped, but because there was no before. The concept doesn't apply. Time itself was born in that first moment. This is hard to wrap your mind around. Maybe impossible really, because we experience time as constant, as always present. The idea that there could be a moment before which there were no moments seems like a contradiction, like a sentence that doesn't make sense. What does it mean for time to begin? What was there before time? But the question itself is flawed, because before is a time word. And if time didn't exist yet, then there was no before. Just nothing. Not even nothing really, because nothing implies an absence of something in space and time. And there was no space, no time, just potential, just the possibility of beginning. Think of time like a river. You're floating in it right now. The current carries you forward. You can see the water stretching ahead of you. You can remember the water you've already passed. The river seems endless. But every river has a source, a place where it begins. Maybe it's a spring bubbling up from underground. Maybe it's snow melting on a mountain. Maybe it's rain collecting in a valley. But somewhere, there's a place where the water first starts to flow. Before that point, there's no river, just rocks, just earth, just potential waiting to become flow. Time is like that. It has a source. The Big Bang was the source, the moment when time began to flow. Before that, there was no flow, no current, no movement. Not because everything was still, but because there was no everything yet, no stage for anything to happen on. The river hadn't started, and you can't float in a river that isn't flowing yet. Some people ask, but what caused the Big Bang? What happened before it? And physicists gently explain that the question doesn't work, that before the Big Bang is like asking what's north of the North Pole. There is no north of the North Pole. North ends there. It's the definition of the end point. And time ends, or rather begins, at the Big Bang. There's no before to ask about, no earlier moment, no previous event, just the starting point, the source, the spring from which all moments flow. Does this make you feel strange? A little unmoored? That's okay. That's natural. We're not built to understand a timelessness. Our brains evolved to navigate a world where time always flows, where cause comes before effect, where yesterday precedes today. The idea of a moment outside of time, a beginning that has no beginning, it slips through our thoughts like water through fingers. We can't quite hold it, can't quite see it clearly, and that's okay. Some things aren't meant to be fully grasped, just acknowledged, just wondered about. Imagine you're lying on your back in a river, a gentle river, warm water, clear sky above. You're floating, not swimming, not trying to control anything, just letting the current carry you. The water supports you, holds you, moves you downstream without effort. You don't know where the river started. You can't see the source, but you trust that it began somewhere, that the water came from somewhere, and now it's here. Now it's carrying you. And that's all that matters. That's what living in time is like. You don't need to understand how time began. You don't need to see the source. You just need to float in it, to let it carry you, to trust that this moment is real and the next moment will come, and that's enough. The river is flowing. You are floating. That's the whole story. And maybe there's peace in that, in not needing to understand the beginning, in not needing to see beyond the horizon of time. Because right now in this moment, time is here. It's working. It's flowing. And you're part of that flow, part of the current, being carried from past to future 1 second at a time, 1 breath at a time, 1 heartbeat at a time. Your life has a beginning too, a moment when you started. Before that, you didn't exist, not in this form, not as you. And someday, your life will have an ending. But right now, you're in the middle, floating in your own personal river of time, being carried from birth toward whatever comes next. And you don't need to understand how the river started or where it's going. You just need to be in it, to experience it, to let it hold you. Close your eyes now. Feel yourself floating. Imagine warm water beneath you, supporting you, carrying you. You're not trying to swim upstream, not trying to see the source, not trying to reach the end. You're just here, in this moment, in this current, letting time do what time does, which is to flow, gently, steadily, inevitably. The beginning of time is too far away to see, too strange to understand, but it doesn't matter, because you're here now, in the middle of the flow. And the middle is where life happens, where experience happens, where all the beauty and sadness and love and loss occur. Not at the beginning, not at the end, but here, in the flowing, in the present moment that keeps arriving and arriving and arriving, like water from an eternal spring, like light from the first dawn, like breath from a source you don't need to see to know it's real. Let go now. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the questions about before and beginning. Let yourself float. Let time carry you. Let the current take you wherever it's going. You're safe in the river. You always have been. You always will be. Just float. Just breathe. Just be. That's all time asks of you. To be present, to exist, to flow. And you're doing it perfectly, right now, in this moment, in this breath. Let sleep come now. Let it carry you downstream, into dreams, into darkness, into the gentle, timeless place where the river meets the sea. Rest now, float now, be now. That's all. That's everything. Where is the center of the universe? It's a natural question to ask. We're used to things having centers. A room has a center. A city has a center. Even Earth has a core at its center. So surely the universe, this vast collection of everything, must have a center too. A special place, a middle point, the spot where the Big Bang happened, the place from which everything expanded. But the answer is strange and beautiful in its strangeness. The universe doesn't have a center, or perhaps more accurately, everywhere is the center. Every point in space is equally valid, equally special, equally middle. There's no privileged position, no cosmic downtown, no place more important than any other. The universe is in a very real sense democratic, fair, perfectly equal. Imagine you're standing in a field of wildflowers, a vast field, flowers in every direction, stretching to the horizon and beyond. You look around and naturally you feel like you're at the center because the flowers spread out from where you stand. They're all around you, in front, behind, left, right, everywhere. You are the center of your view. Now imagine walking 100 steps to your right. You stop, look around again, and once more, you're at the center. The flowers still surround you in every direction. The view looks the same. You haven't moved away from the center because the center moved with you. Or rather, you're still at the center because every point in the field is equally central. Now imagine a bee lands on a flower far away. From the bee's perspective, it's at the center. The field spreads out around it in all directions. The bee isn't wrong, and neither are you. You're both at the center of your own perspective, both equally valid, both equally true. The field has no absolute center, no single point that's more middle than any other. The universe is like that field. Galaxies are like the flowers. And from any galaxy, from any planet, from any point in space, when you look around, you see other galaxies moving away in all directions. You appear to be at the center, but so does everyone else. An alien on a planet 1 billion light years away would look around and see the same thing. Everything moving away from them. They'd think they were at the center too, and they'd be just as right as you are. This happens because the universe doesn't have an edge, doesn't have a boundary. When the Big Bang happened, it didn't happen at a point in space. It happened everywhere at once. All of space came into being simultaneously, and as it expanded, every point in space moved away from every other point. Not because there's a center pushing things out, but because space itself is growing, stretching, becoming more. Think about the surface of a balloon again. When you draw dots on it and inflate it, every dot moves away from every other dot. But no dot is at the center of the surface. The center of the balloon is inside in 3-dimensional space. But if you're confined to the 2-dimensional surface, there is no center. Every point is equal. Every dot sees the same expansion, feels the same movement. We live in 3-dimensional space, but it's expanding in a way we can't see from inside it. And just like the dots on the balloon, we don't have access to the center. Not because it's far away, but because, from our perspective, inside the universe, the concept doesn't apply. We're part of the surface, part of the fabric, and the fabric has no center point we can point to. This might feel unsettling at first. We like to know where we stand, like to feel grounded in something, and the idea that there's no special place, no cosmic anchor, can feel disorienting. But there's another way to see it, a gentler way, a more comforting way. If there's no center, then no one is more important than anyone else. No place is more special. Earth isn't at the edge of things, but it's also not at the center. It's just here, one place among infinite places. And that's okay. That's beautiful even, because it means your home, wherever it is just as valid as any other home. Your perspective is just as real as any other perspective. You're not on the outskirts of existence. You're right in the middle of your own experience, and that's the only middle that matters. Every person is the center of their own universe, not in a selfish way, but in a literal way. You are here, and from here, everything else radiates outward. You are the point from which you measure distance, the place from which you observe, and that makes you central. Not more central than others, but equally central, perfectly, beautifully central. The universe is fair in this way. It doesn't favor any position, doesn't privilege any location. Every star shines from its own center. Every planet orbits from its own center. Every being lives from their own center. And all these centers are real. All are valid. All are held equally by the cosmos. There's no hierarchy, no better or worse, just different perspectives on the same infinite whole. So tonight, let yourself be at the center, not in an egotistical way, but in a peaceful way. You are here, this spot, this moment, and from here, the universe extends in all directions. You're not less important because there's no cosmic center. You're exactly as important as every other point in space, which is to say, infinitely important, because you're a place where the universe is aware of itself, a point where existence becomes conscious, where the cosmos looks at itself and knows that it is. Let that settle over you now. You are central. You are held. You are exactly where you belong. Not because this place is special compared to other places, but because every place is special. Every moment is the center of time. Every breath is the center of life. Right now, you are at the center of your experience, and that's the truest center there is. Close your eyes. Feel yourself settling, sinking. You don't need to find the center of anything. You're already there, already home, already exactly where the universe wants you to be. Let sleep come. Let it find you at your center. Let it wrap around you like the universe wraps around all things, equally, gently, completely. You are held. You are home. Rest now. Here's a thought that might make your mind drift in wonderful ways. If the universe is truly infinite, if space goes on forever without end, then something strange must be true. Everything that can happen must happen somewhere, not just once, but infinite times, in infinite variations, across infinite distances. Think about it slowly. Let the idea unfold gently. There are only so many ways atoms can arrange themselves, only so many possible configurations of matter and energy. The number is enormous, yes, unimaginably large, but it's still finite, still countable in theory. But if space is infinite, then there's infinite room for all those configurations to repeat, over and over, in endless combinations, which means somewhere out there, far beyond what we can see, there might be another Earth, not similar to our Earth, but identical, exactly the same. Same continents, same oceans, same mountains and rivers and forests, same cities with the same streets, same houses with the same furniture, everything precisely duplicated, down to the smallest detail. And on that Earth, there might be someone exactly like you, living in a house exactly like yours, lying in a bed exactly like the one you're in now, listening to these same words, thinking these same thoughts. That version of you has the same memories, the same face, the same heartbeat. They're you, in every possible way, living the same life at the same moment, in perfect synchronicity. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Too strange to be real. But if the universe is infinite, it's not just possible, it's inevitable. Because in infinite space, every possible arrangement of atoms must occur. Every possible version of every possible thing, including you, including this moment, including everything you've ever experienced or ever will experience. But it doesn't stop there, because there aren't just copies, there are variations. Somewhere there's an Earth almost like ours, but the coin you flipped yesterday landed differently. The decision you made last week went the other way. That version of you took the job you didn't take, moved to the city you didn't move to, said yes when you said no. Their life diverged from yours at that one moment, and now they're living a completely different story. And somewhere else, another variation, another choice made differently, another path taken, and another, and another. If the universe is infinite, then every possible version of your life is being lived somewhere. Every road you didn't travel is being traveled by another you. Every dream you let go of is being realized by a different version of yourself in some distant corner of space. Does this comfort you, or does it make you feel strange? Maybe both. Because on one hand, it means you're not alone, even in the most fundamental way. There are countless yous out there, living, breathing, experiencing their own version of existence. You're part of an infinite family of selves, all connected by the fact that you share the same starting point, the same essential nature, the same soul perhaps expressed in infinite ways. But on the other hand, it means the choices you make in this life, in this version, in this particular arrangement of atoms, they matter deeply. Because this is your story, not the story of those other yous in those other places. This is the version you're living, the only version you can experience. And what you do here in this universe, in this timeline, that's real in a way nothing else can be for you. Somewhere, maybe there's a version of you who became everything you dreamed of becoming, who achieved every goal, who lived without regret. And somewhere else, there's a version who struggled more than you have, who faced harder challenges, who had less luck. All of them are real. All of them are you, but none of them are living your particular story, your unique combination of moments. And that's what makes your life precious. Not despite the fact that it might be repeated elsewhere, but because of it. Because in this infinite cosmos, with all its infinite variations, this particular version, this particular you exists only here, only now, only in this sequence of choices and chances and circumstances. You are unique even in infinity, singular even among infinite copies. Think about a snowflake. Each one is unique, they say. No two are exactly alike. But imagine if you had infinite time and infinite snow. Eventually, patterns would repeat. Eventually, two snowflakes would form in exactly the same way. And yet, even knowing that somewhere in some other storm, an identical snowflake might fall, does that make the one landing on your hand less beautiful, less real, less worth noticing? The snowflake is here now, with you, in this moment. And that's what matters. Not whether another one like it exists somewhere else, but that this one is here, now. Part of your story, part of your experience, unique to you, even if it's not unique to the universe. You are like that snowflake. Maybe there are infinite copies of you scattered across infinite space. But this, you're the one breathing right now, the one feeling this moment, the one whose consciousness is here and nowhere else. This you is unrepeatable in your experience. This is your one chance to live this particular life, this exact sequence of moments, and that makes it infinitely valuable. Somewhere another you is making different choices, living different dreams, experiencing different joys and sorrows, but you'll never meet them, never know them, never trade places. You have this life, this body, this moment, and it's enough. It's everything. It's all you need. And maybe there's freedom in that, in knowing that other versions might exist, but you'll never see them, never be them. You only have to be you, this you, the one here now. You don't have to wonder what would have happened if you'd chosen differently, because somewhere in some infinite elsewhere, another you did choose differently, and they're living that consequence. But you're living this one, and both are real, both matter, both are part of the infinite tapestry of existence. Let yourself feel that now, the weight and lightness of it. You are one possibility among infinite possibilities, one story among infinite stories. But you're the story you're in, the possibility that became real for you. And that's miraculous. That's enough. That's everything. Imagine all those other yous scattered across the cosmos, all living their lives, all experiencing their moments, all part of the great infinite experiment of existence, and feel connected to them. Feel held by the knowledge that you're not alone, that somewhere in ways you'll never know, your essence is repeated, your potential is explored, your soul is expressed. but also feel the preciousness of this particular you, this particular moment. Because even in infinity, this exact combination of circumstances, this precise arrangement of atoms and thoughts and feelings, this is happening now, here, with you, and it will never happen again. Not in this way, not in this body, not with this awareness. So let go now. Let go of wondering about those other yous. Let go of the roads not taken. Let go of the choices you didn't make. They're being lived elsewhere by someone who is and isn't you. But here now, you have this breath, this heartbeat, this soft descent into sleep, and it's yours, completely, uniquely, infinitely yours. Close your eyes. Feel yourself settling into this one life, this one body, this one moment. You are here, not there, not in those infinite elsewheres, but here. And here is perfect. Here is home. Here is where you belong. Let sleep come now. Let it take this version of you into dreams, into rest, into the soft darkness where all versions merge back into one, where infinity becomes singular, where you are simply you, at peace, at rest, at home. For most of human history, we thought space and time were separate things. Space was the stage, the place where things happened, and time was the steady tick of the clock, the rhythm that moved everything forward. They seemed independent, unconnected. Space was here, time was now. Two different concepts, two different experiences. But then came Einstein, and he saw something no one had seen before, something beautiful and strange. Space and time aren't separate at all. They're woven together, inseparable. Two aspects of the same thing. He called it space-time. One word, one reality. Four dimensions braided together so tightly you can't have one without the other. Think of it like a coin. One side is heads, the other is tails. You can look at one side or the other, but you can't have a coin with only heads. You can't hold tails in your hand without heads being there too on the other side. They exist together. They're part of the same object. That's what space and time are like. Two faces of one reality. When you move through space, you're also moving through time. When time passes, you're also moving through space, even if you're sitting still. Because Earth is spinning, orbiting the sun. The sun is moving through the galaxy. The galaxy is drifting through the universe. Nothing is truly still. Everything is moving through space-time, tracing paths, drawing lines through this four-dimensional fabric that contains all of existence. And here's where it gets even stranger. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Not in a way you'd notice in everyday life, but it's real. It's measurable. If you were to travel in a very fast spaceship close to the speed of light, time would slow down for you. Not subjectively. You wouldn't feel any different. But when you returned home, less time would have passed for you than for everyone who stayed behind. It's as if space-time has a speed limit, and that limit is shared between space and time. The faster you go through one, the slower you go through the other. Like a river that splits into two streams. The more water that flows down one channel, the less flows down the other. But the total amount of water stays the same. That's how space-time works. You're always moving through it at the same total speed. But how that speed is divided between space and time, that can change. Gravity bends this fabric too. Heavy objects like stars and planets create curves in space-time, like a bowling ball placed on a trampoline. The fabric dips, curves, and anything nearby rolls towards the depression. That's what gravity is. Not a force pulling you down, but the shape of space-time itself. Earth sits in a curve created by the sun, and you sit in a curve created by Earth, moving along the paths that the curved fabric allows. And when space-time curves, time itself changes. Near a massive object, time runs slower. Again, not in a way you'd feel, but if you could compare two clocks, one on the ground and one on a mountaintop, the one on the mountaintop would tick slightly faster, because it's a bit farther from Earth's center, a bit less deep in the gravitational curve. Time itself is flowing at a different rate. This means the universe doesn't have one universal clock, one shared now. Every point in space experiences time at its own rate. Your head ages slightly faster than your feet. Not enough to notice, but it's true. Time is local, personal, dependent on where you are and how fast you're moving. The universe is a symphony of different rhythms, all playing at once, all real, all valid. When the universe expands, it's not just space growing, time is changing too. The fabric of space-time is stretching, and as it stretches, the relationship between different points changes. Distances grow, but also the rate at which time flows can shift. The universe doesn't just get bigger, it gets older in a different way. The expansion touches everything: space, time, the very structure of reality. This might make your head feel light, a little dizzy. That's okay. You don't need to understand the mathematics. You don't need to visualize 4 dimensions. You just need to know that space and time are dancing together. Always have been, always will be. They move as one, bend as one, exist as one, and you're part of that dance, moving through space-time, tracing your own unique path through the fabric of existence. Every moment you live, you're not just in a place, you're in a place-time, a specific point in the 4-dimensional tapestry. You're here now, and here now is different from there now or here then. You occupy a unique position in space-time, a position that's never been occupied before and never will be again. You are utterly unique, utterly unrepeatable, a singular point in the vast fabric. Let that thought settle gently. You are a moment in space-time, a brief flowering, a place where the fabric becomes aware of itself, where space and time converge into consciousness, into experience, into being. You are the universe's way of knowing itself in this particular here now. And that's beautiful. That's enough. That's everything. Close your eyes now. Feel yourself resting in space-time. Not just in space, but in time too. This moment is holding you. This location in the 4-dimensional fabric is yours. Only yours. You don't need to move. You don't need to go anywhere. You're already exactly where and when you need to be. Right here, right now, in this perfect convergence of space and time. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts drift. You're floating in space-time like a leaf on a river. The current carries you forward through time. The banks guide you through space. But you don't need to paddle. Don't need to steer. Just float. Just be. Just exist in this moment. This here now. This precious point in the fabric of everything. Rest now. Sleep now. Let space-time hold you gently as you drift into dreams. In the vast universe with all its light and space and possibility, there are places where everything changes. Places where the rules we know stop working. Where space curves so intensely that it folds in on itself. Where gravity becomes so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape it. We call these places black holes, and they are both terrifying and beautiful in ways that are hard to describe. Imagine a star, a massive star, many times larger than our sun. For millions of years it burns. Nuclear fusion in its core creates enormous pressure pushing outward, and this pressure balances the enormous gravity pulling inward. The star lives in this balance, stable, shining, giving light to the darkness around it. But eventually, the fuel runs out, the nuclear fires die, and without that outward pressure, gravity wins. The star collapses, not slowly, but catastrophically. All that mass, all those layers of star material falling inward, crushing together, compressing. And if the star is massive enough, it doesn't stop. It keeps collapsing, smaller and smaller, denser and denser, until it becomes something that shouldn't be possible. A point, not a small thing, but an actual point. Zero size, infinite density, all the mass of the star compressed into a space with no dimensions. Mathematicians call it a singularity, a place where the equations break down, where infinity appears in the math, where our understanding reaches its limit and can go no further. Around this singularity space curves so extremely that it creates a boundary, a point of no return. Once you cross this boundary, called the event horizon, you can never come back. Gravity pulls so strongly that you would need to travel faster than light to escape, and nothing can travel faster than light. So nothing escapes. Not matter, not energy, not even information. Once you cross that line, you're gone from the universe we know. From the outside, a black hole looks like darkness, pure darkness. A circle of absolute black against the stars. Light from behind it bends around it, creating a strange halo. But the center is void, empty of light, empty of anything we can see. It's not that there's nothing there. There's immense mass, immense gravity, but we can't see it, can't observe it directly. We only know it's there because of what it does to things around it. The way it pulls, the way it bends light, the way stars orbit something invisible. Near a black hole, time itself changes. Remember, gravity bends space-time, and near a black hole, that bending is extreme. If you could somehow survive getting close to one, if you could hover just outside, the event horizon time would slow down for you dramatically compared to someone far away. What feels like an hour to you might be years or decades or centuries for them. You'd be living in slow motion, watching the universe age around you while you barely move forward in time. And if you fell in, if you crossed the event horizon, something even stranger would happen. From your perspective, you might not notice anything special at first. The moment of crossing would be silent, unremarkable. But you could never leave, never send a message out, never let anyone know what it's like inside. You'd be cut off from the rest of the universe, forever. As you fell deeper, tidal forces would grow. The gravity at your feet would be stronger than the gravity at your head. You'd be stretched, pulled apart. Scientists have a word for this. They call it spaghettification, a gentle word for something not gentle at all. You'd become a stream of atoms, a line of matter falling toward the singularity, toward that impossible point at the center where all the rules break. We don't know what happens at the singularity. Our physics stops working there. The equations give us infinities, meaningless answers. It's like asking what's north of the North Pole. The question breaks down. Reality breaks down. Or at least our understanding of it does. Maybe there's something beyond that point. Some new physics we haven't discovered. Or maybe it truly is the end. The place where space and time stop having meaning, where existence itself becomes a question without an answer. Black holes are like infinity made small. We've talked about the universe being infinitely large perhaps, about space going on forever. But here at the center of a black hole is the opposite kind of infinity. Infinite density, infinite curvature, infinite gravity, all compressed into zero space. It's the other end of the spectrum, the other face of the incomprehensible. And yet black holes are part of the universe. They're not separate from it, not alien or wrong. They're what happens when gravity wins completely, when matter surrenders fully to its own weight. They're natural, inevitable. In every galaxy at the center, there's likely a supermassive black hole, millions or billions of times the mass of the sun, just sitting there, silent, dark, holding the galaxy together through its invisible pull. Our galaxy has one too, far from here, far from Earth, but it's there, a silent anchor, a dark heart, and we orbit it along with all the other stars, all of us held by something we cannot see, cannot visit, cannot understand, but must trust is there, because the math says so, because the stars move in ways that only make sense if it exists. There's something poetic about that, isn't there? The universe has a heart of darkness, a place of mystery at its core. Not evil darkness, not frightening darkness, just unknown darkness. A place we can't reach, can't see into, can't fully comprehend. And maybe that's okay. Maybe every cosmos needs a mystery at its center, a question without an answer, a place where even light must surrender. Tonight, as you lie here, think of yourself as opposite to a black hole. Where a black hole is infinite density, you are delicate, fragile, full of empty space between your atoms. Where a black hole pulls everything in you radiate. You give off warmth, light, energy, kindness perhaps, love. You're not a void. You're a source, a place where the universe becomes gentle, becomes aware, becomes soft. And just as black holes exist at the extreme of gravity, you exist at the extreme of consciousness, of being, of experience, You are the universe looking at itself, feeling itself, knowing itself. And that's as miraculous as any singularity, as mysterious as any event horizon. You are in your own way impossible, unlikely. A brief flowering of awareness in an ocean of stars and darkness and infinite mystery. Let that thought comfort you now. You are not a black hole, not a void, not darkness. You are light. You are warmth. You are here. And that's enough, more than enough. Let yourself rest now. Let the darkness behind your closed eyes be gentle. Not the darkness of a black hole, but the darkness of sleep. Soft, welcoming, safe. Let yourself fall into it, not toward a singularity, but toward dreams, toward peace, toward rest. You are held. You are safe. Sleep now. Look up at the night sky. All those stars, hundreds visible to your naked eye. Thousands if the sky is dark enough. And those are just the ones in our neighborhood, our small corner of one galaxy. In the whole universe, there are more stars than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. Each one a sun. Each one potentially surrounded by planets, by worlds, by possibilities. Are we alone in all of that? In this vast ocean of stars and space and time, is Earth the only place where life emerged? The only planet where matter organized itself into something that could think and feel and wonder? It seems unlikely, doesn't it? Almost impossible, really. In all that space, in all those billions of years, in all those countless worlds, how could we be the only ones? Somewhere right now there might be another planet, orbiting another star, under another sky. And on that planet, someone might be lying down, looking up at their stars, wondering the same thing you're wondering. Are they alone? Is anyone else out there? Do other beings exist who can think and dream and ask questions about the universe? Maybe they look different from us. Maybe they don't have eyes like ours, or bodies like ours. Maybe they're made of different chemistry, silicon instead of carbon, liquid methane instead of water. We assume life needs what we need, but maybe that's narrow thinking. Maybe life finds a way to emerge in conditions we can't imagine, in environments we'd consider impossible. Life might be more creative than we think, more adaptable, more persistent. Or maybe they're not so different after all. Maybe across the universe, in places far from here, there are beings who look up at the sky with something like wonder, who have something like hearts that beat, something like minds that dream. Maybe consciousness, wherever it arises, has a similar quality, a similar yearning, a similar loneliness. Because even if they exist, even if the universe is full of life, we're still separated by impossible distances. Light takes years to travel between stars, decades, centuries, millennia. If someone on a planet 1,000 light years away pointed a telescope at Earth, right now they wouldn't see us. They'd see Earth as it was 1,000 years ago, before electricity, before flight, before most of the cities that exist now. They'd be looking at our past, and we'd be looking at theirs. So even if we're not alone, even if the universe is teeming with life, we might never meet, never communicate, never know each other. The distances are too vast, the speed's too slow. We're like islands in an endless ocean, each one inhabited, each one full of life and story, but separated by so much water that no boat could ever cross it. No signal could ever reach from one to another. And yet, there's something comforting in the possibility, in knowing that we might not be alone, that somewhere under different stars, other beings are living their lives, facing their challenges, finding their joys, looking up at their sky and wondering about the universe. We're connected by that wondering, by that shared curiosity, even if we never speak, even if we never touch. We're part of the same cosmos, part of the same mystery, part of the same experiment in existence. Maybe they've been doing this longer than we have. Maybe they've learned things we haven't. Maybe they've figured out how to live in peace, how to take care of their world, how to avoid the mistakes that could end everything. Or maybe they're struggling just like we are, trying to understand, trying to survive. trying to make sense of being alive in a universe too big to fully grasp. Or maybe they've already come and gone. Maybe civilizations rise and fall like waves, lasting a few thousand years, a few million, and then disappearing, leaving no trace. The universe is so old, 13 billion years. There's been time for countless civilizations to emerge, to flourish, to wonder about the stars, and then to fade away. We might be living in a universe full of ghosts, full of stories that have already ended, full of ruins on planets we'll never visit. But right now in this moment, there might be someone out there, someone lying down like you're lying down, feeling small like you feel small, looking up like you look up, and wondering, always wondering, are they alone? Or is someone else out there asking the same question? And in that wondering, in that shared question, there's a kind of connection, invisible, impossible to prove, but real in its own way. You don't need to know if they exist to feel less alone. The possibility is enough. The thought that in this vast universe, with all its stars and galaxies and space, there might be others. Others who feel what you feel, who wonder what you wonder, who experience this strange, beautiful, confusing gift of being alive. That thought is a kind of companionship, a kind of comfort. And even if we are alone, even if Earth is the only place where life emerged, that makes us incredibly precious, incredibly rare. We're the universe's way of knowing itself. The only place in all that vastness where atoms arrange themselves into something that can think and feel and love. We're not just observers, we're participants, with the cosmos becoming conscious. And that's miraculous, whether we're alone or not. Tonight, let yourself feel connected to whatever might be out there, to whoever might be looking up at their own stars, to all the beings who came before us and might come after us, to the whole long chain of life that led to this moment. You're part of something larger, something ancient, something that reaches across space and time. You're not isolated, not truly. You're woven into the fabric of existence itself. Close your eyes now. Imagine someone somewhere far away closing their eyes too. Both of you resting, both of you part of the same universe, both of you held by the same darkness, the same stars shining for both of you, the same mysteries surrounding both of you. You're connected, not by signals or messages, but by being, by existing in the same cosmos, by sharing this moment of peace under the infinite sky. Let that thought carry you into sleep. You are not alone. Whether there are others out there or not, you're part of this universe, part of its story, part of its consciousness. And that's enough. That's everything. Rest now. The universe is with you, has always been with you, will always be with you. You are home. You are held. You are never ever truly alone. Sleep now. Dream now. Rest in that knowing. Everything that begins must end. Or must it? We know the universe had a beginning, the Big Bang, that first moment when everything started. But will there be a last moment, a final page in the cosmic story, an ending as definite as the beginning? Scientists have thought about this, and they've imagined several possibilities. None of them will happen soon. Not in your lifetime, not in a billion lifetimes. But still, it's worth wondering about, worth dreaming about as you drift towards sleep. One possibility is that the universe simply continues, forever, expanding, growing, becoming more and more spread out. Galaxies drifting farther and farther apart, stars burning out one by one, until eventually, in an unimaginably distant future, the last star flickers and dies, and the universe becomes cold, dark, empty, just particles drifting through endless space, moving apart, slowing down, growing quieter and quieter, until there's nothing left but silence. They call this the heat death, not because the universe becomes hot, but because all the heat, all the energy spreads out so thin that nothing can happen anymore. No movement, no change, just stillness, eternal stillness, like a pond that has stopped rippling. Another possibility is the opposite. Maybe the expansion will slow down, maybe it will stop, and then reverse. Maybe the universe will begin to contract, to fall back in on itself. Galaxies moving closer together instead of farther apart, space shrinking instead of growing, everything rushing back toward everything else, faster and faster, until finally all of space, all of matter, all of existence collapses back into a single point, the opposite of the Big Bang. They call this the Big Crunch, the universe folding back into itself, returning to where it started, a cosmic exhale after the inhale, an ending that mirrors the beginning, or maybe something else entirely. Maybe the universe will reach some kind of balance, some stable state where expansion slows but never quite stops, where galaxies stay distant but don't disappear entirely, a quiet equilibrium, like a pendulum that finally stops swinging and just hangs there, still, peaceful, neither growing nor shrinking, just being, existing in a state of gentle permanence. But here's the thing, here's what matters right now as you lie here breathing slowly. All of these possibilities are so far in the future that they're almost meaningless. We're talking about trillions of years, numbers so large they lose their significance. The universe is still young, still full of stars being born, still full of light and energy and possibility. The ending, whatever it might be, is so distant that countless generations will live and die before it even begins to approach. Think of it this way. If the universe's life were a single day from midnight to midnight, we're still in the early morning, maybe 8 in the morning. The sun just rose a few hours ago. There's a whole day ahead, afternoon, evening, night. We're nowhere near the end, not even close. We have time, so much time, more time than we can imagine, more time than we need. And in a way, isn't that comforting? The universe isn't ending tomorrow, isn't ending in your lifetime or your children's lifetimes or their children's lifetimes for billions of years. The cosmos is patient, slow, in no hurry to reach its conclusion. It's content to just exist, to keep going, to keep unfolding, star by star, galaxy by galaxy, moment by moment. Your life is different. You have less time, much less. But that doesn't make it less valuable. If anything, it makes it more precious, because your moments are limited. Your days are numbered, not in a sad way, but in a way that gives them weight, meaning, importance. You don't have trillions of years. You have decades maybe, each one a gift, each one unrepeatable. The universe can afford to be patient. You can't, but that's okay. That's how it should be. You're a brief flame in the cosmic darkness, a quick spark, here and then gone. But while you're here, you burn, you shine, you experience, you live. And that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. So don't worry about the end of the universe. Don't lie awake wondering which scenario will come to pass. It doesn't matter. Not tonight. Not for you. You have your own story to live, your own moments to experience, your own light to shine. Let the cosmos worry about its own ending. You focus on your own life, your own now, your own precious, limited, beautiful time. The universe began, and yes, it will end, or change, or settle into some final state we can't imagine yet. But between that beginning and that ending is this vast middle, this long stretch of time where stars shine and planets orbit and life emerges and beings like you lie in beds and wonder about it all. This middle is where everything happens, where all the beauty lives, where all the meaning resides, and you're in the middle, right now, in the best part, the living part, the part where the story is still being written, where possibilities still exist, where tomorrow is still coming. The universe's ending is too far away to touch you, too distant to matter. What matters is this breath, this moment, this gentle slide into sleep. Let the future be the future. Let the end be the end whenever it comes. You're here now, alive now, safe now, and that's all that matters. The universe is taking care of its own journey, and you can take care of yours, which right now means resting, sleeping, letting go of questions that don't need answers tonight, letting go of worries about endings that won't come for eons. Close your eyes, feel yourself settling. The universe is still here, still expanding, still holding you, still providing the stage for your existence, and it will be here tomorrow, and the day after, and for billions of days beyond that. You don't need to worry about it ending. You just need to rest in the fact that it's here now, vast and patient and eternal enough for your purposes. Sleep now. The cosmos is watching over you. Time is flowing gently, and you are exactly where you need to be. Rest, dream, let go. The universe has you, and it's not going anywhere. Not tonight, not for a very, very long time. So here we are, at the end of our journey. We've travelled far tonight, through space and time, through questions and mysteries, through the vast and the tiny, through the known and the unknown. And now, it's time to come home, to come back to this room, this bed, this body, this breath, this moment of peace. We started with the question, is the universe infinite? And after all this wondering, after all these thoughts and ideas and images, we still don't know the answer. Not really. Not for certain. The universe might go on forever, or it might curve back on itself. It might be one of many universes, or it might be the only one. We don't know, and maybe we never will. But here's what I want you to understand as you drift towards sleep. The question is more beautiful than any answer could be. The wondering is more precious than the knowing. Because as long as we're wondering, we're connected to something larger than ourselves. We're participating in the great mystery. We're part of the cosmos asking questions about itself. Every night when the sun sets and the stars come out, you're given a gift. The gift of perspective. The gift of seeing beyond your immediate concerns, beyond your daily worries, beyond the small circle of your life. You look up and you're reminded that you're part of something vast, something ancient, something that has been here long before you and will be here long after. And that reminder is a kind of peace. You are made of stardust. That's not poetry. That's fact. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of dying stars billions of years ago. You are literally made of the universe. You're not separate from it, not an observer looking at something distant and foreign. You are it, the cosmos in human form, the universe experiencing itself, knowing itself, loving itself. And every breath you take is a cosmic event. Every heartbeat is a miracle of chemistry and physics and biology all working together. You are impossibly complex, impossibly unlikely, and impossibly here, real, alive, aware, breathing, in this moment. So let go now. Let go of the need to understand everything. Let go of the questions we explored tonight. They'll still be there tomorrow if you want to return to them. But right now, they've served their purpose. They've carried you to this place of peace, this edge of sleep, this threshold between waking and dreaming. Let your eyes close. If they're not closed already, feel the weight of your eyelids, gentle, heavy, natural. There's no need to see anymore tonight. No need to look or search or wonder. Just darkness. Soft darkness behind your closed eyes. The darkness that has held every sleeping being since the beginning of time. You're safe in this darkness, held by it, cradled by it. Let your breathing slow. Don't force it. Just notice it, in and out, like waves on a shore, like wind through trees. Your breath is part of the universe breathing, part of the cosmic rhythm, the same rhythm that spins planets and births stars and moves galaxies through space. You're in sync with all of that, part of the great breathing, the great flowing, the great being. Feel your body sinking into the mattress, into the bed, into the earth itself. You're being held. Gravity is holding you. The same force that holds moons around planets and planets around stars. You're not falling. You're being embraced, gently, constantly, lovingly. The universe is holding you the way it holds everything, with invisible arms, with patient strength, with eternal care. Your mind is quieting now, thoughts drifting by like clouds, slow clouds in a vast sky. You don't need to hold on to them, don't need to follow them. Just let them pass, watch them go. Each thought a visitor, here for a moment, then gone, leaving only stillness, only space, only peace. The universe is infinite or it's finite. It's expanding forever or it will contract. It's alone or it's one of many. These questions float away now, into the night, into the darkness, into the space between stars. They don't need answers tonight. They just need to be released. Let go. Given back to the cosmos. And you are here, small and vast at the same time, a single point and an entire universe. You contain multitudes, memories and dreams and hopes and fears, all of it held within you, all of it real, all of it valid, all of it deserving of rest. Sleep is coming now. You can feel it, like a tide rising, like night falling, like a soft blanket being pulled over you. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Just let it come. Let it take you. Let it carry you away from this waking world into the world of dreams. The world where the rules are different, where anything is possible, where you can fly through stars and walk on light and meet versions of yourself from other universes. The journey we took tonight through the infinite cosmos, it's not ending. It's just pausing. The universe will still be there tomorrow, still asking to be wondered about, still inviting you to look up and ask questions. But tonight, you've wondered enough. You've traveled enough. You've explored enough. Now it's time to rest. You are loved by the universe, held by it, part of it. You are a precious, temporary, beautiful expression of cosmic possibility. And right now, in this moment, you're exactly where you need to be, in this bed, in this darkness, in this peace. Let sleep take you now, fully, completely, gently, like the universe expanding, like time flowing, like a breath being released. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The stars are watching over you. The darkness is protecting you. The cosmos is cradling you. Sleep now. Dream now. Rest now. You are exactly enough. Exactly perfect. Exactly where you belong. Good night. Sleep well. The universe loves you, and it will be here when you wake. Patient, eternal, waiting to show you more wonders. But for now, sleep. Just sleep. That's all. That's everything. Sleep.